So guys, a lot of people have been requesting me to actually make a video on how they can edit videos on their smartphone using either CapCut or VN video editor. In today's video, I'm going to give you a complete beginner's guide on how you can actually edit videos like a pro using just your smartphone. Yes, you heard me right. All you need is simply your smartphone, be an Android or an iPhone. There's totally no problem as well. And the video editor we are going to be using in this video is more like CapCut. However, this one is 100% free, meaning you don't have to pay for any single thing. So guys, I believe you can actually see my phone screen over here right now. Now I'm basically just follow every single thing that will be shown over there, and then don't really pay much attention to my face. So in order to start this process, the first thing you need to do is simply you need to come over to your Play Store and then download this video editor known as VN video editor. Now CapCut is one of my favorite video editors I've been using for tutorials on this channel. However, CapCut now requires premium version, or else they are going to add watermark to your videos, and you can't work your ass out just for a company to come and add watermark to a video that you've struggled, recorded, and edited. So for that reason, we will be using VN video editor. Now once you come over to the VN video editor, you've downloaded it either from your Apple App Store or from your Google Play Store. Just click on open. Now once you open it, it will then open the VN editor interface. Now for me personally, I've used it for some few projects before, so that's why I see that I have it right here. Now all you need to do from here is simply, once you come over here, here's how the interface looks. Now the next thing you need to click here to start editing your video is basically click on it says plus. Now once you click on that plus, it brings you over to this interface here. Now over here, basically click on it says new project. Now once you click on it, you have this option music based or video based. Now in our own situation, I'm editing a YouTube video which is not a music video, so I'll say video based. Then you click on save. Now once you open up, the next thing simply you need to select the materials that you want to use for the video you are coming to edit. So this could be the videos and then the audio clips and whatever clip that you're actually going to need. Now let me just go through and then select a video clip from my phone to use as an example in this tutorial. So let me go for this video here, which is about 3 minutes long, so it will be perfect for the tutorial. Now I'll just select the video clip. Now if you want more video clips, you can just select more of them like this and are basically good to go. Now if you also want images, you can also select a few images, or you can keep going, or basically just come over to here, it says photo. Now over here you are strictly shown only pictures that are on your phone, so you can just select either of them and go with, or you can come over here to video, which basically shows videos alone. Now on the other hand, if the medias you want to use are not available on your phone, you can come over to here, it says stocks. Now over here, these are stock medias that you can actually use for video, maybe for your intros or something. So basically you have some cool intro and some cool transitions you can use within your video to make it more interesting. And then finally you have the subtitles. So this one is if you want to import subtitles, you basically come over here after generating them during the editing phase. Now this aside, let us click on next. Now once you click on next, now you see the clips you selected will be added over here on your dashboard. So you can see these are the two clips I selected. They were added over here. Now once you come over to this interface, this is basically the beginning of every single thing. Now the top track here, which shows this music icon, is basically where you add music. Now if you want to add, so guys, now in this section we are basically going to talk about the basic editing tools you need to know. Now these editing tools are the split, the trim, and then some other basic terms that you need to know when it comes to video editing. Now over here you can see we are currently on here. This is where the video clips are. Now for example, within this clip, maybe there is a place whereby when you were recording you made a mistake, or a place you don't want to include in the main video itself. Now what you basically do is simply just play the video. Now you just play the video. Now let me mute my own audio, which is actually not needed for the meantime. Now basically you just play it and then listen to the point whereby you want to cut off. Now for example, let me say I want to split this place off, maybe between this place where the bar is and then this place here. I don't need them in the video, so I want to cut them off. So for that, you basically come over to the beginning of it and then you click on the clip, then you click on it says split. Now once you click on split, now you see that this clip will be separated from the other one over here. Now from here you play over to the other part that you want to cut off. Now basically maybe from here, then you click on split again. Now basically you don't need this middle. With this you'll be able to click on the middle clip, which is the one you don't need, and then just click on it says delete. Now you see that part is off. Now this is basically how you can trim your clips, or maybe split and join clips. Maybe you don't need a place, you want to trim it off. This is basically how you can trim it off if it's in the middle of the clip. Now if it's a situation whereby the place is at the end over here, you can basically tap on it and then still come over to the end and then split it, click on it, and then you can see delete it off just like this. So guys, this is how you do splitting of clips and then adding up clips in your videos. Now let me say you want to probably add a different clip. Maybe the way this one is, you want to add another one on top of this particular one. So for example, if you want, like the way my video is right now, you can see that I'm sitting and talking over here while I have another clip showing over here. Now if I want to do this one is known as the peep function. When it comes to video editing, you are basically peeping a different object in it. Now if I want to do that, all you need to do here is simply basically click on it, says peep track. Now with this one, it automatically sends the clip that you selected. So for example, let me go back and show you again. Now for example, maybe I want to keep this particular clip here. I want to put it at the top of this one, like the way I place my phone on top of my actual video. Now if you want to do this, you basically click on this clip and then click on it, says peep clip. Now once you click on it, you see that it will automatically be sent to the top of it. Now you see it's now at the top of this one. Now I can minimize it and then position it at an edge, just as the way my phone is being placed over here. Now this form of editing is known as a peep. So this one is called peep. So basically I'm just peeping this one and placing it over here. However, if you're using advanced video editing softwares like Adobe Premiere Pro, or you're using Canva, CapCut on your laptop, or Davinci Resolve, which is the one I personally use on my laptop, in those sort of editors is known as adding overlay. Basically this is a form of adding overlay, but if you're using mobile editors, you will not see the overlay option most of the time. So basically you'll be used to the term peep. So this is basically how you peep it. Now another big question is, what if the media you want to peep is not available on your timeline? So for example, maybe the media you want to clip in here is not available on the timeline. So what do? Now in this situation, if I want to feature a different image here instead of anyone from the timeline, I'll basically click on where it says this image icon. Now once you click on it, you come over to photos. Now you can select. So for example, I want to add a different video clip on top of that particular one. So I'll just select it. Now I can see place it over here in case I don't want the one that is available in my timeline already. So hello guys. Now if you want to do a little bit advancement in making your videos entertaining, now what I mean by this is basically, instead of just sitting and talking, you do it like the way my intro was. Like if you look at my intro, you notice that whilst I was speaking, my camera was going back and forth. And when I didn't do this whilst I was recording, I did it whilst editing. So what exactly is this sort of feature? Now this feature, when it comes to video editing, is known as a zoom in and out feature. Now this feature is very important when it comes to video editing because you need to add a little bit of movement in your camera so that it doesn't just look like a stick or a statue that is just sitting there and talking. You need to add a little bit more animation. So in order to add this using VN editor, you basically click on your video, the clip you want to add it. Now you can come over to keyframes here and I use keyframes manually. However, in this particular video, I don't want to make it too long, so I'm not going to use keyframes. But what we are going to do is simply under the menu here, you can basically see where it says, you can basically come over here and see where it says zoom. Now you click on zoom. Now when you come over to zoom, they have so many zoom features here that you can actually use. Now basically you can use the zoom out feature. Now with the zoom out feature, like let me show you something here. You can see originally you can see how the interface looks. Now when you use the zoom out option, the video gets zoomed in and then start playing. You can see it gets zoomed in. However, while the clip is moving, it will be adjusting gradually. Now that one is applied. Now if you play it right now, you see that what the video is no longer moving, being stationed, but then you can see a little bit of movement in the appearance of the video. You can see that speaker is actually moving backwards while the clip is playing on. So let's just go back again. Take a look at it. You can see this sort of movement adds a little bit of changes in the video that you are actually editing. In this way, users will not just be watching you talk, but then they can see a little bit of animation going on in the background, which will also help keep them entertained and at times could help change the camera angle as well. Now the next thing from here is basically the volume. Now some of you, when you edit your videos, you realize that either your background audio is beating your actual speaking audio, or basically the audios don't work properly. Now how do you balance this? Now, for example, in this clip, let me say I want to add a background audio right now. All I need to do is simply click here, come over to music, my music, come over here, then I'll add the background audio I want to use. Now I'll just add it up. Now once I add it like this, I need to balance the background audio and then the actual audio of the video itself. Now in order for me to do this balancing, first of all, I need to click this audio icon here. I need to click on this clip and then look for the audio, the volume here. Now once I click on this volume, I'll have to increase this particular one a little bit more. After that, then I'll click on the background audio. Now come over to the background audio, then I will lower this particular one a little bit more. Now in this way, the background audio will not be able to compete with the other one again. Let me play it for you to hear. You can hear the two audio, however, which means that what you see have to, so basically to work on the volume, you click on the clip, come over to volume. When you take it backwards, it lowers it. Now you can hear two different audio, however, the main speaker is still beating the crowd. Now I can't let this one play. This is actually a stage performance, so I don't want to get this video copyrighted. So guys, this is how you work on when it comes to adding zoom in and zoom out, and a little bit of some basic editing like cut and join and those ones when it comes to video editing. So now guys, the next thing when it comes to basic editing that you need to know is basically what we call transitions. Now transitions are very important when it comes to video editing, because if you look at this video, whilst you are moving from section to section, I'm not just waving through. Like basically when you cut a clip, like for example, let me delete this clip off. This clip that might get me copyrighted, let me delete it off. Let me go back and then delete it off first. That's a stage performance which might be copyrighted. So like for example, take a look at these two clips. You can see that what these are two different clips. Let me just go close. You can see that these are two different clips. Now in order to move from the first clip to this clip without looking so awful, like the way, just take a look at it. You see there is no proper animation between these two clips. So what do you do in this sort of situation? Now in this situation, we'll add a little bit of transitions, which transit from one to the other without showing much, like without users actually noticing it that much. So in order to do that, you click on the plus in between the two of the clips. Now once you click on it, now you get the animation options. Now from here you have the black. Now it goes from dark to the other clip. Now you have the white, you see. Now you have the zoom. You have the, you can see dissolve. Now you have the different form of shake, you see. Shake to light, blur. So now in this way, you don't just move like circle, push down. Now you have different form of transitions, which means that what moving from one clip to the other will not be a big deal, and then will make your videos look a little bit more professional. Like for example, let me use this zoom option here. This, or let me go with the dissolve. Perfect. Now take a look at it right now. Let me play these two clips so you see how it moves in. Now this is the work of transition. You see, this is way better than the initial way that it used to move. Look at it again. You see, it's way more professional way to moving from one clip to another. So as a video editor, it's very important you also make use of transitions whilst you are editing your videos. Now guys, this is transition. Now let's move over to the next part when it comes to adding text to your videos. So guys, now down to this section. Now this section is basically adding text to your videos. Now how do you add text to your videos? Maybe you want to add normal text just popping up in the videos like the way I do sometimes. Now how do you do this? Now how you do this is also very simple. All you need to do is simply come over to the text layer here and then click on add text or subtitles. Now for example, maybe you've generated a subtitle for the whole video that you are actually going to add for the whole video that you are currently editing. You can just click on it says SRT file, then you import the file from here. Now in my own case, I don't have any file, so I'm just going to show you how you can add a manual text method. Now to add the manual text, you basically click on it says add text and then click on text. Now over here you can see different text templates that you can actually pick off from. Like for example, let me just take a look at any of the one here. So this one here is time. So maybe you want to add time to the video, you can just add it, and then you can just double click here and then edit it. So for example, let me say it's 09 and then click the down and then change it to 10. Now come over to the top here, May, I can just say June. Now you can come over here, change the text color and every single thing. You can change the outline for each of them. You see, you can basically play with the text like this. Now the other hand as well, you can also add your own default text. Click on text and then come back to here, it says add heading, and then you can type whatever thing you want to type. Like for example, let me type video editing. Now if I type it like this, if I want to change the font, I can come over here and change the font, which is the appearance of it. You can see video editing. You can see I can just change it to any of this font. Now next up is simply the size. I can increase the size or lower the size. Next up is the color. I can give it some stroke, and then for the color, let me just change it to something else right here. Now you see, you can basically just play with it like this. Come over here, if you are making a listicle form, you can come over here and click list, which will number them for you, and basically just move up from one to another. Come over here. Now if you wrote a lot of text, like for example, let me just add more text. Video editing, make money, then add the space. Let me just come over here, say social media, let me add the space. Now with this, if I come over here that I want to space them, you can see the line spacing option. In this way I'll be able to space them. You can see there's a gap in between them right now. I can send like this, come closer, I can space them away from each other. Now over here is the letter spacing, if you want to space each of the letters from each other as well. Now guys, this is basically how you add text to your videos. It's very simple and easy to do, and you can add as many tests as possible. And with this test as well, you can also animate how this test actually come in. Like for example, let's start from the beginning, which is the clock. Now I can animate how this clock come in by clicking on where it says motion. Now this motion, we have the scale, then it comes in as a zoom. We have the spin, the slide in, the review. You see, we have the gradient. You can see. Now basically you can just go with it. Now let's play it and see how the text comes in. You see how the text comes in? It doesn't just bounce in, but then it comes so nicely. Now let's also do same with this test here. Come over to motion, and then let's try a different appearance. No, let's go with the spin option. Now let's see how it goes as well. Spin. You see, now you can also add effect to your test. So guys, these are some basic things that you actually need when it comes to video editing. Now if you want to add auto captions, you basically click on captions, so forth and so on. Now if you are someone out there who really wants to learn video editing and really master smartphone video editing, whether you want to edit on your phone or on your laptop using VN editor, Davinci Resolve, or Adobe Premiere Pro, you can actually reach out to me on Instagram. I'm currently offering a one-on-one complete mentorship on how to actually do video editing as a total beginner, where we can dive way deeper than what you've actually learned. However, with what you've actually learned, you can actually go out there and do some little things as well. So basically, I offer mentorship in content creation, video editing, and other fields that might interest you, that you see that create content around, that you think I deliver enough value for you to warrant mentoring you. You can actually let me know down in the comment section or reach out to me on Instagram. So guys, now with this said, now let's get to maybe when you are done editing all these videos and every single thing, you've added all the effects, every single thing you want. Now how exactly do you export this video? Now in order to export this video, it's very simple and easy. You come over to this top here where it says, you can see this arrow showing up here. You basically click on it. Now once you come over, you need to select your video quality. Now if you're uploading the video on YouTube, I always advise you go for 4K resolution. Now in this way, your video will come as a higher quality, so when you upload it on YouTube, despite the compression and everything, your video will still remain sharp and nice. Now the next thing here is simply the frame rate. For the frame rate, it's very much okay for you to keep it at 30 frames per second. However, if you want to do a little bit more big boy job, you can send it up to 60 frames per second. However, the more you increase distance, the higher your file size as well. So if you are using a phone with a lower size, you can just maintain it at 30 frame rate, and then however keep it at 4K. Now this 4K, in case your phone cannot play back 4K, then I would advise you try 2K. And if your phone can't also play back 2K, no matter what, as long as your phone can edit videos, then you can actually play back 1080p. So basically play with them. If you export at 4K and you try replaying it on your phone but you couldn't replay it, then I would advise to lower the resolution and see if your phone can play it, because the higher the resolution, the higher the power actually needed to play it back, even on normal phones. So guys, this is basically all I have for you in this video on how you can actually start editing video with just your smartphone. In case you don't get any point, you can use the timestamps and then go back to that particular level. So guys, see you in my next video. Bye.